Hello, 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 everybody. I pray that your weekend is off to an amazing start. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. It is Tuesday, and you guys know what goes down here on Tuesday. Wife Chat goes down here on Tuesday. So do me a huge, huge favor. Make sure that you're hitting this share button and letting all my one sexy wives know that Wife Chat is going down. And do me a huge favor for you that are on here. Please, 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 please tell me where you're joining me from. I would love to give you a shout out. Um, as you guys know, last week I did not get on here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure that you put it in the chat so I'll know where you're joining me from. I would love to show you some love. Hi Tamika, how are you? It was so good to meet you finally in person. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much. That's my girl from Texas. Hello from Buffalo, New York, Rodney. Hello, Auntie Five. Greetings. Did you enjoy your trip? I absolutely enjoyed my trip. I had an amazing time at home. I got to see my 95-year-old aunt. I got a chance to hang out with my buddies from high school. And, we've been friends since we were 8 years old. So we all got together and just hung out. I mean, I had a blast in Texas. I'm not going to lie. I really did. I wish, I could have brought my aunt back with me to Maryland, but I couldn't. And Rodney, thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. I appreciate you. And so I had an amazing time. I missed getting on here with you guys last week, but it was so much fun that I just couldn't stop doing what I was doing. The first half of the week, I just really, took care of my aunt and, went and bought her some new wigs and whatever she wanted, she can have. And that's my motto with her. She took care of us, helped my mom, who was a single parent, take care of us when we were small. And so now that I'm an adult, me and my brother and my uncle have committed that she can have whatever she wants. And trust and believe me, she was spoiled to death, and she's still spoiled to death, even though I'm not there. My brother and them still hold it down. So I had a blast. I literally had a blast. It was so good to see all my old classmates, and we look good. We're aging well. We've been out of high school 35 years. I was like, Lord have mercy. But we had a great time. So thank you guys for asking. If you're on here, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Please, please, please put in the chat where you're joining me from. I would love, love, love to give you a shout out. Okay. And so tonight's wife chat is from a wife that is from Mississippi. And she came into my inbox and she says, Dr. Gail, how do I deal with a controlling husband? Right. And even though this is a wife asking me this question, this can apply to a man that's dealing with a controlling wife. Because as you guys know my story, I was out of control in my marriage and I tried to control every situation. I thought Gail was my child, not my husband. But this comes from a wife. And what are some signs that you are being controlled, right? And this subject can go so many different ways, because what's controlling to me might not be controlling to you. They might be doing some of these things, not all of these things. So I just kind of want to frame this, and you take it and you can kind of make it your own. But these are some top ways to know if your spouse is controlling. The first thing is, yes, controlling wives. Yes, laugh out loud. I was her. I was a controlling wife. I needed to know everything that was going on, what he was doing all day. I was out of control, right? And you guys know I'm very transparent with my behavior. And that's the reason why I'm doing the work that I do today, because I want to try to help people not make the same mistakes that I made in the 35 years that I've been married. They try to tell you who you can talk to, who you can hang out with. Most of the time they don't like none of your friends, because again, they want to be able to control you and have you all to themselves. So if they tell you who you can talk to, who you can't talk to, they're always saying who they don't like and all this kind of stuff. Let me just tell you, it might be a problem, because again, everybody that's in your life is not detrimental to your marriage or not detrimental to you. I'm not saying that all your friends are the best friends and the best things for you. But again, if they're trying to control who you talk to, who you hang out with, and this could be family members, it could be friends, it could be cousins, it could be anybody, right? So just be cautious of that, right? Hello, Roland. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. The other thing is that they have become verbally and physically abusive to you. Now, a lot of people don't look at being verbally or physically abusive as being a part of control, but it is. It is very, very controlling, okay? And they try to control you with being abusive. They want to control the money, right? They want to have control over the money, how you spend it, when you make it, how much you make, how much you can have of it, all of those different kind of things. And I'm just giving you some framework of what controlling people do and how you can deal with that. I'm going to give you some solutions, okay? They want to keep track of everywhere that you go. They want to keep track of everywhere you go. They calling you, what are you doing, who you with, who you talking to, when you coming back, and you could just be going to Walmart, but they want to know how long you going, what aisle you on. Out of control. Hello, Christian. How are you? Y'all, this is one of the best VAs in the world. Hi, Christian. How you doing? I appreciate you so much for getting on here. Hello, Barbara. How are you from PA? I appreciate you for getting on here. So they're very controlling, right? And the other thing is that they are constantly yelling at you. They're constantly not wanting to have a conversation, but they're always trying to tell you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Okay. And again, this is just a small snippet of what controlling behavior looks like. What is the definition of control? The power to influence or direct a person's behavior or the course of events in their lives. They have the power to influence or to direct a person's behavior or the course of their life, right? That is the formal Webster's dictionary of what it is to be controlled. Now, again, I'm talking to one young lady out of Mississippi, and her note to me was, Dr. Gail, help me. I need to know how to deal with my controlling husband. We have two small children. I am a stay-at-home mom. I worked before we had children. Now that I'm at home, he is controlling me in every area of my life. I don't know what to do. Okay. The first thing that you can do if you're dealing with a controlling spouse is really try to figure out what is the root cause of why he feels that he needs to control you. What is the root cause, right? For me, when I was in my controlling behavior, it was because I had trust issues, right? And these issues came before Gil even got into my life. So I had trust issues. So I needed to control the money. I needed to know where he was because I had been cheated on, I had been hurt, and a lot of money had been taken from me because I trusted this guy. Okay. So I had control issues and I did not deal with them. So I took them into my marriage, and therefore I created chaos for years. So that was the root cause of the reason why I was controlling. You need to find out what is the root cause of why the person feels that they need to control you. That's the number one. Because if you don't find out the root cause, what is driving them to want to control you? Number two, you need to sit down and tell your spouse how it makes you feel, when they have this controlling behavior. I.e., I told you I was going to Walmart to get bread. You don't have to call me 15 times to make sure that I'm in Walmart. I'm still in Walmart getting the bread. I said what I was doing, and that should be good enough. Because at the end of the day, It makes me feel like you don't trust me. It makes me feel like you're trying to be my father instead of my spouse, or you're trying to be my mother instead of my spouse. Okay? Because you do that with children, you don't do that with an adult. So number 2 is tell them how their behavior makes you feel. So let's go back to if they're being physically or emotionally abusive to you, that is not the will of God for your life. That is unsafe. And you need to get your children and get yourself in a safe space. Because if somebody's verbally or physically abusing you, that is not a safe place for you to be for yourself or your children. I don't condone that behavior. And y'all know I stand for marriage, but if he's putting his hands on you and he's being verbally abusive to you in front of your children, you need to find a safe place and get out of there until he can get some help and you can get yourself some help as well. Okay. And I don't know who that was for. Number 3, you need to set some healthy boundaries for yourself and healthy boundaries for your marriage. If they have trust issues that maybe you have caused in the past and maybe you have not, but if they have trust issues, if there have been some infidelity and that's the reason why they're trying to be controlling and need to know exactly where you are and all of those different kind of things, you need to set some healthy boundaries and say, listen, I'm going to Walmart. If I'm not back in 4 hours, then call me. Don't call me 5 minutes after I have left the house because I haven't even arrived at my destination. So you have to set the boundaries and you have to understand and make them understand why these boundaries need to be set. Because if you don't, they're going to continue with this behavior and it's going to get worse. Number 4, take your power back, right? You teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. If you continue to tolerate being called out your name, if you continue to answer your phone when they call you 50 and 60 times while you at Walmart, and you keep using Walmart because I go to Walmart pretty much every day. I do. I love Walmart. But anyway, but but you teach people how to treat you. You do. And if you don't set and don't have standards for yourself, people will talk to you. They will do anything to you because you have allowed it to happen. Number 5, when they're acting out, when they're talking to you crazy, when their voice is out of control, you need to take the back seat and not go toe to toe with them because they have no control. And 2 out of control adults it leads to disaster. So my thing is just be quiet, take a deep breath, and allow them to finish. You cannot argue with somebody who's not listening. It takes 2 people. You cannot argue with someone who's not listening. You can't. And so many people try to engage when another person is on a 10. They're not hearing anything that you're saying. They're not listening to anything you're saying. So you're just 2 people screaming and nobody is listening and nobody's going to get ahead. Hi, Roxanne. How are you? I truly appreciate you joining me tonight. Okay. So stay calm and cool and don't engage in that behavior. Some days it's harder than others. But for me, I have to count to 10 and say, I'm not engaging in this because I'm going to say something out of my mouth that I can never take back. Number 6, don't isolate yourself and don't allow them to isolate yourself from your friends or your family because that's what they want to do. If you have somebody who's controlling and abusive, they want you to be isolated from the people who love you the most because they want you to realize you're the only person. I'm the only person that's here for you. I'm the only person that can do for you. I'm the only person. I'm the only person. I'm the only person. And that is not true. So do not allow yourself to be isolated from your friends or your family. Don't do it. I agree. I started counseling for myself, and it has actually helped my marriage. Good, Roxanne. I'm glad that you did find a counselor that can work with you, because again, this is something that a lot of people are dealing with, whether it's a man or a woman, right? And if you don't get to the root cause, and I pray that your counselor has gotten to the root cause of why your spouse or you are controlling. Okay, my husband actually did some changing without me asking. Okay, that's really good. But make sure, hi Eminem, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. But it's so important for you not to isolate yourself. And for the young lady in Mississippi, I understand that he has control over the finances. And I understand that you have two small children, but you don't have to feel like that you're alone in there. There's different resources and stuff like that. And I'm going to reach back out to you and get you some resources to get you some help, because I don't want you to be in a situation where you're feeling hopeless, you're feeling abused, and you're feeling like you have no resources because you're a stay-at-home mom. You have one of the hardest jobs on the planet. And I'm telling you, the government should pay women who stay at home, because it is really one of the hardest jobs ever. And number 7, and Roxanne said it best, you got to seek help. If you and your spouse cannot get on a even keel and really figure out why he is controlling or why she is controlling, you really need to seek help, right? Because there's nothing wrong with reaching out and getting help. Because at the end of the day, if you want to save your marriage and you want your marriage to be healthy and strong, not perfect, because there's no perfect marriage, you need to seek help, professional help that can get you guys in a situation where you can communicate, where it's a give and take thing. You're not going to always agree, but again, you can have a fulfilling, loving marriage where you get what you want and where your spouse gets what he wants or she wants, and you don't always have to be at odds, and you don't always feel like you're being controlled and that you're less than in the marriage. Okay. Yes, our voices do matter. Everybody's voice in a marriage, whether it's a man or a woman listening to me, your voice does matter. Your feelings do matter, and your feelings are not debatable. Okay. They're not, they're your feelings. And that's the reason why one of my points was tell your spouse how this makes you feel, because whether they agree with how you feel, whether they acknowledge this is how you feel, your feelings are not debatable, and you shouldn't change how you feel to appease that other person. Okay. Please, please, please get help. Some people don't even realize that they're being that way. That is true. Auntie Five. Some people don't realize that they're being controlling and abusive. Some people don't even realize they're being controlled and being abused because they figure that's the norm, right? And especially if you are not in a position where you can take care of yourself and you have two small children, you feel that you have to take that, and that is not the will of God for your life either. And that's the reason why I am going to send this young lady some resources in her area to be able to help her to get the aid and the counseling that she needs. Not necessarily to leave her husband, because again, this was a message. I don't have the full story, but again, I wanted to go on here and give anybody who's listening to that tools and some strategies to help them. Okay. And again, you guys know, if you need me, you know how to contact me. You can inbox me here on Facebook. You can send me a message through YouTube. I'm the only one that answers my messages. Like, I've been inundated. Again, you guys, thank you so much. I didn't get a chance to thank you guys live, but I did post it. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I love you guys. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Again, I appreciate everybody who gets on here everybody for your comments. I do, even though I go get off of here, I go back and I read all your comments. I will hit like. I appreciate you guys. Y'all don't understand how much I appreciate you, because I love what I get a chance to do every single day. And God has allowed me to bless and to help and to coach and counsel people all over the world. And I don't take you guys for granted. I truly do not. And I appreciate you. Um, Again, I had a blast last week at being at home. I have some workshops coming up in the future. So go on my website, gailcrowder.com, go under attend. I would love to have you in some of my workshops. Also, my Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage 2023, January the 20th and 21st is coming to Baltimore. You guys, you need to register because it will sell out. So make sure that you go on my website and hit attend and go under Unleashed. It's going to be really hot. I got some amazing teachers and speakers that's going to just rock your world. The first time I went to counseling was hard, but I felt so much better after I did. Every time I go, I think I didn't need it, but after my session is over, I did need it. You're correct, Roxanne. A lot of people think that they don't need it, but it is vital, especially if you're not able to get past um, any issues that you're having in your life or in your marriage, right? So many people, we perish for the lack of knowledge, or we say, oh, we can't afford that, but we make a way to afford anything that matters to us, right? And you got to realize that your spouse is the only walking, talking, living, breathing being that you cut a covenant with on this earth besides God. And so many of us take that for granted. And I was one of those people until I realized that, I'm not in no dress rehearsal. There's no plan B. So I got to fix me. Okay. Is that for couples only? Actually, Auntie Five, it is only for married women, married and engaged women, right? No husbands, only wives. No husbands, only wives come to the conference. But this in 2023, I do have some men coming to give us a male's perspective, because for so many years I've only had women teachers and speakers. And this year I really want to dive into why we struggle as women and wives withholding sex and having amazing sex in the confines of marriage. And I want to hear how and what effect it has on a man from a male's perspective. So I do have some men coming, but they're just going to be teaching. But the conference is all about women coming together, married and engaged women coming together, really to unleash their wild side. And so we're going to go in and go hard. My sponsors have been sending me some off the chain gifts for you guys, and people who've been to my conference know I love to give amazing gifts. We have amazing fun. If you go to my website and go under Bringing Sexy Back to Marriage, you can see some of the videos where we just have a ball. So make sure that you guys go there. I would love to have you guys. And again, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, inbox me, email me. I will always respond, and I'll put you on there, and I will always tell you when I'm getting ready to answer your question live. Also, if you want to talk with me, I offer a free 15-minute discovery call. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'm trying to give you one tool and one strategy to help you in your marriage. Okay. Are there contingency for bad weather for my conference? Absolutely, it is. There's contingencies for bad weather. Also, there for the very first time, there's an online version as well. This year I had to do it virtually because of COVID, and I wanted to make sure people were safe. This time, I have a virtual component as well as a live component. Of course, the live component is always off the chain, but we did it off the chain virtually as well. Snow, laugh out loud. Yes, I know you. It sounds fun. I live in North Carolina. It snows here in Maryland too. But let me just tell you, my team and I pray and intercede. And let me just tell you this: it has and it's in the middle of January, and people thought I was crazy. I've been doing it 15 years now, and it's not been one snowstorm. It has always went forth. I'm telling you. It is. I'm telling it's not gonna rain or snow until we say so, and I believe that because my words have power. Okay, all right. So I would love to have you, Auntie Five. I really do want to meet you. I really do. So again, you guys, I love you guys to pieces. And if you need anything, y'all know how to get in contact with me. You really do. I'll see you guys later.